Right now in the Sonic community, there's a burning debate all throughout on ambition, and what defines a good Sonic game. Games like Sonic 06, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Colors have received wildly differing opinions from fans of the franchise that would hugely differ from the rating upon initial release. Sonic Unleashed, rated poorly upon release, is now hailed as lots of fans as the best game in the series. Sonic Colors, initially hailed as a savior of the franchise, is now considered mediocre, and Sonic 06, widely considered the worst game in the franchise, now has floods of defenders calling it a misunderstood game and justifying its decisions and poor gameplay by specifically comparing it to games like Sonic Forces, saying 06 had a lot more ambition. And there's that keyword again, ambition. The definition of ambition is widely left up to us when it comes to Sonic games. Some determine ambition as the scale of the game, while others how expansive the level design is. And yet others consider ambition how passionate the devs were about making this a good product. Ambition in its own way is ambiguous. With so many different ways of showing it, we can't really determine which one the devs wanted to put in. And this is the first reason I think ambition does not make or break a game, because no one fully understands how much ambition was put in and where it went. I'm a firm believer in that games should be judged based solely upon the end product, not the development history, and not ambition. Ambition itself can't make a game good if the end product is terrible, and such is the case with Sonic 06. If we start from the beginning, Sonic 06 is a soft reboot of the series that was made out to be the next big game for the 15th anniversary. It was rushed out to meet deadlines, had conflicting development with the Wii title Sonic and the Secret Rings, and was simply too ambitious for its own good. With 3 separate campaigns, loads of playable characters, expansive level designs, and so much more that the dev team just wasn't given enough time to do. And recently in the community, several people have taken up the stance that 06's end product was justified by the ambition the developers had with the game, and phrases like, "It's more ambitious than Forces," "It was such an ambitious game," "It's so much better than Sonic Colors because it has more playable characters and a good story," which is debatable at best. And to this, I have to ask if any of these people have actually played 06 and not P-06, which is a fan remake of the game, which removes all of the glitches. I played it at one point, and it wasn't good. It wasn't fun, it was glitchy, I wasn't having fun progressing through the game, and I quit pretty quickly. I didn't care about the game's ambition because I wasn't having a good time with it. And that should be a given. A game's end product is different than what it aspired to be. If Sonic 06 was what it aspired to be, and I had a good time playing it, I would have praised the game and its ambition. But right now, the fitting analogy is, Sonic 06 wanted to run 30 miles, and stumbled at the halfway point, and never reached its full potential. Sonic 06 had a bad end product, and it's a bad game to play. Sonic Colors, on the other hand, went in quite a bit of an opposite direction. I recently reviewed Colors Ultimate on the channel, and I can attest to a few things. People say that Sonic Colors is bad because of its simplistic story, kid-friendly direction, and its highly 2D gameplay. People are going to say it lacked ambition in its design and direction, and frankly, I disagree. Sonic Colors came out in 2010 for the Wii as yet another soft reboot, changing all of the voice actors and story writers, and template for the games to come. And it featured several widely creative worlds, with 6 acts each, which admittedly created a pacing problem, but these levels, alongside the new power-ups known as the Wisps, created the game that perfectly captured the feeling of the classics, that rewarded exploration of its deep levels, precise platforming, and I think that's great. This game's art direction and level design is really ambitious, except for the floating spring levels. The game may not have a lengthy goal of 30 miles like Sonic 06. It set itself a more modest goal of, say, 10 miles. But it passed that goal with flying colors. No pun intended. The lack of ambition in a story and direction is not going to ruin a game, unlike the game-breaking bugs and glitches and problems found in Sonic 06. I gave Sonic Colors Ultimate a justly earned 8.5 out of 10 for being a blast to play and listen to, and having creative environments that were fun to play, and being rock solid in terms of game-breaking glitches. Sonic Colors, unlike Sonic 06, reached its ambition, and while its ambition wasn't big, the fact that it reached its goals instead of stumbling halfway made it a pretty great game. The criticisms raised don't impact my enjoyment of a game. Now, here's where we get onto something more interesting. Sonic Unleashed is what happens when you set yourself a less modest goal than Sonic 06, but a bigger one than Sonic Colors, and still passed it by a wide margin. Sonic Unleashed released 2 years after Sonic 06 and taught the devs to take more time with the game and set less ambitious goals. Sonic was the only playable character. The story was made a bit simpler, as simple as you can make it with a werehog, and it fixed 06's problems and added on its own flavor of creativity, and ended up being a blast to play. Sonic Unleashed is what happens when you set yourself a more reasonable goal and give the devs more time to work everything out. Unleashed became an amazing end product that most fans love, and it did it not because of its ambition, but again, because of the devs' efforts and time spent on the game. The ambition is only the icing on the cake, as is very common with most games. So, in the end, when you look at a game's ambition, that should never define the game for anyone. The end product of the game is usually the only thing that matters, as that's what will dictate your enjoyment. You can compliment a game based on its ambition, but you have to be aware of its flaws as well. Don't be a desperate fan claiming every game in the series is a godsend. Games have flaws, and ambition can't fix them, or justify the problems with a game like 06. And if you still feel like defending Sonic 06, go replay it, or play it for the very first time. Experience for yourself, then come back and we can talk. That's it for me, Davron, signing off.